Breaking now in the push for tax reform and the impact it could have on the midterms and the next presidential election, with Democrats blasting the political process while the GOP works to fast-track negotiations to resolve a lot of differences between the Senate and House bills.
This is a once-in-a-generation opportunity, and we're meeting the challenge. Soon the House and Senate will meet in conference to produce a final bill so we can send it to the President's desk. Then the American people can begin to enjoy the relief.
My Republican friends ought to be ashamed of the process and the product that emerged from the Senate last week.
Joining us now, Republican Senator Sen Thune of South Dakota, the Senate GOP Conference Chairman. Thank you very much for talking to us. I know you guys are very busy. The GOP banking on this tax bill to boost the economy before the 2018 and 2020 elections. How do you think the bill is going to impact voters?
I think when voters get a big cut in their personal income taxes, they're going to be very much supportive of this. And I think the other thing, Julie, that's going to come out of this is the changes that we've made in reducing taxes on business is going to create an environment that's very favorable to economic growth. When you get the economy growing at a faster rate, we've been in this sluggish, less than 2% growth right now for about the past 8 years. The economy starts picking up, growing faster, creating better paying jobs. You're going to see wage increases. And so I think the American people are going to, when they see the effects of this as it begins to get implemented, are going to be very happy with the changes that have been made, because it's going to increase the amount of money that they have in their pockets. It's going to give them bigger take-home pay.
Yesterday, the president said, and I'm quoting, the stock market has been reacting unbelievably well to the GOP tax bill. He also added, the only thing that hurts it is the fake news. The media can't deny the economy has been gaining momentum for the past year, even before this tax bill. But the media instead has actually been focused on the tax cuts set to expire for the middle class after 2025 and the deficit, which is expected to hit $1 trillion. What do you feel the media is missing here?
Well, I think the media is sort of missing the obvious, and that is that we're doubling the standard deduction, we're increasing the child tax credit, we are lowering rates for people across this country, lowering rates on businesses, and those are all things that are going to create greater growth in the economy. The media, like the Democrats here in Washington, seem to accept that 2% growth is the new normal. We shouldn't accept that. This is the American economy. We can do way better than that. And if we get the right tax policies in place, we can unleash this economy. And what you're seeing already, Julie, is in the last couple of quarters, 3.3%, 3.1%, we're already dramatically exceeding expectations, and that's a function of lessening of regulations, a lot of the things that the administration is doing. Couple that now with meaningful tax relief, and I think we can really get this economy humming and build on what's already happening out there, which isn't being picked up by the press.
You know, as a member of the media, I like facts. So I'm going to share a few with our viewers. Fact, unemployment is already at a 16-year low. Fact, unemployment could dip below 4% for the first time since the dot-com era. Fact, that kind of momentum could easily translate into even more jobs and higher wages. That is the story I think the president feels the media is ignoring. But could that be because this trend could continue past the 2018 elections into the next presidential election, something perhaps the mainstream media doesn't want to see?
Well, I don't think there's any question about that. I mean, I think in a lot of ways, unfortunately, the media is sort of cheering for failure, and we shouldn't want that for our country. Our country can do better. The American families, American people, those who have struggled for so long with these low wages, haven't had a pay raise in the past decade, need some relief. And we allow, through our tax cuts, income tax relief for middle-income families in this country, allow them to keep more in their own pockets, and then we get bigger paychecks through a growing, expanding economy that creates those better-paying jobs. That's a good story, and we should be celebrating the fact that we're moving in a direction that's going to get a bill on the president's desk that will accomplish a lot of those objectives. But unfortunately, too often, I think the narrative around here is one of doom and gloom, and we just want to settle for 2% growth. We can do way better than that, and we should.
You talk about celebrating. A lot of Democrats say that this is celebrating the wealthy and punishing the middle class. And you know, most voters don't even understand what's in this tax bill. But looking forward, how should voters take into account the tax cuts expiring for them after 2025?
Those will get extended, and we would love to make them permanent. And I think part of it is a function of the Senate rules. We have weird rules around here, Washington accounting conventions that we have to follow, or we would have made them permanent. But they will be made permanent eventually, and the people should focus on how this is going to impact them and their own tax situation, plug these numbers into their tax returns, and see that with a doubling of the standard deduction, a doubling of the child tax credit, reduction in rates, they're going to be way better off. And I think that when the American people start realizing what's happening here and what's been done, and gets the real information, the real facts, they're going to be very pleased with the outcome.
Senator John Thune, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Good luck.
Thanks, Julie.